Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of the reading rush. I'm starting this very late in the day. It is currently 3:19. I worked this morning and your girl doesn't function before work. All those people who like film getting ready for work, I don't do that. That's not a thing that I can do in the morning. So, I got home and I promptly took a coma. I just fell asleep. So I approximately, can you see her? We have this big cardboard tube that we have in the bathroom now, and she thinks she's like a little circus performer by walking along the top of it. So anyway, long story short, I stayed up super late last night. I went to work, I zombied my way through work, and then I came home and promptly took a 2-hour nap. So here we are. It is like almost 3:30 in the afternoon. And the update that I have for you guys is that I listened through The Road this morning. That's also possibly why I'm so exhausted, because this book is bleak. I just finished it. I finished up the last like hour of the audiobook when I got home, and I think I actually want to go through and tab some stuff because I listened to it, which I think was easy. A lot of people said the audiobook is kind of the way to go with this just because there's no quotation marks for the dialogue and it's a very different style, and looking through it, it's all just like blunt paragraphs. Like it's just like big paragraph breaks, and there's no actual like punctuation for like distinguishing dialogue from not dialogue. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. The writing was amazing. Like there were some things that, like I said, I want to go back through and tab some stuff because there were some descriptions of the land or of his thoughts about life and death that I was just like, oh shit, that was intense. So I think I want to go back through and like skim through it and tab it up and everything. So I think I'm gonna sit at 4 stars because I don't think that it was like the most amazing thing that I've ever read as far as modern classics go, just because it was, like I said, it was very bleak and harrowing, and this is not a fun story, which does not really denote whether it's going to be a good book or not. But I love me a good survival post-apocalyptic bleak story. Like, my dark little soul just loves things like that. So this was just rough going, and I loved it. So the plan is I might as well stay in this bleak mindset, and I think I'm just gonna watch the movie tonight. I have obviously a couple hours between now and tonight, so I think I'm gonna lighten things up and finish up the Babysitter's Coven, or at least make progress on the Babysitter's Coven now that I can human again, because I'm like functioning and somewhat awake now. So I think I'm going to go film a segment. I think I'm gonna do one of the goats today. Whoever will sit with me, probably Rue or Neville. So I'm gonna go film that. If my neighbor ever stops freaking mowing their lawn, she is in a mowing mode. Like, her property's not that big, but she's literally been mowing for like 4 hours. And I'm like, go inside, please. But I think I'm gonna go film a Meet My Pet segment. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to read a much lighter book than is this. And then I'm going to like hunker down and try and get through the movie version. I feel like the movie is going to be even rougher because you're like actually seeing everything. I mean, this one we see the horrible thought process of like what's happening, and you're understanding what's going on and how the father is trying to take care of his son and how much of a struggle it is. I feel like seeing it on the screen is going to be a little rough though. So Kitten is just running laps around me right now. So that's going to be my update as of right now. So that is technically my booked movie adaptation halfway done. So I will check in later tonight when I finish the movie. Well, this is the child I'm going to introduce you guys to, but instead he's busy doing that. What are you doing, dude? Can you stop scratching your face on the bench? Cool. This is good content. Do not push the bench on me. Can you come here? Riveting, am I right? There we go. Hi. How are you? So guys, this is Neville. Gonna hop up? What do you think? Neville is our child. He is technically the oldest goat that we have. He's only 3 weeks older than Napoleon, but he has been the troublemaker of the herd. So if you guys watch my segment about Napoleon, you know that I brought both of them home at the same time. They are from the same breeder, and he has dobby ears that flap a lot when he shakes, and he likes to make out with you. It's so romantic. He also has this majestic beard. Look at that. Yeah, he's like a wizard. That's why we named him Neville. So we're just gonna We're just gonna neck for a while. Is that fine? So Neville is the biggest goat that we have. He is just like massive. Where Napoleon is way too tiny for his breed, Neville is like the opposite, and he is huge. When we got him, I'll do what I did with Napoleon, and I'll put baby pictures up because he was so precious when he was a baby, and now his face is huge. Like, his nose is so long, and it's crazy, the difference between baby Neville and adult Neville. But when we got him, he was one of triplets. Did you guys just hear that hiccup? He's also the only goat that I've ever met who makes that weird hiccup when he like regurgitates cud. That's a thing that goats do, in case you guys didn't know. And I feel like we should have known better, because out of the 3 triplets, we managed to get the one named Loki. There was Thor, Odin, and Loki. That was the names of the 3 babies in his little family. And we took Loki. I feel like that should have been an indicator from the beginning of the type of goat that we were getting. So he is just kind of the slow child. He means well, but he doesn't make good decisions. He's not the smartest, and he tends to get into a lot of trouble, and he doesn't really comprehend the word no. Which means he just really wants attention all the time and doesn't really understand when you're done giving it to him that you need to be able to walk or function or do things without him being all up in your space. So it has been a learning process with him. Oh, good hiccup. Oh god, that smells terrible. In case you guys didn't know, goats are ruminants, which means they regurgitate their food and re-chew it. It's real gross and it smells terrible. So we are sharing a lot right now. So he's just gonna sniff. Yep, that's the camera. Do not chew it. Don't chew on it. You can smell it. Nope, you can't headbutt it. So like I was saying, he's kind of the slow child, and he doesn't really understand that not everything needs to be rubbed with his forehead, and that's just... Okay, good talk. He's basically like the kid, when you reprimand him, he just kind of like breaks. Like when you say no or you yell at him, he's just like, why? And his brain just comes to a crashing halt. Perfect, there we go. There's a beautiful, fat, large goat. As far as his name goes, we just really liked the name Neville. I feel almost like we were gonna call him Dobby because of his ears. And I still feel like we should have called him Dobby, but that's okay. He has a lovely wizard's beard, so he needs to be some sort of wizard. So he is Neville from Harry Potter, obviously. We'll just do that. There he is. What's up, handsome? So, I feel like I was going off on a tangent, but like I said, he's just kind of the slow child. Everybody loves him and hates him. He's gotten better over the years. He was kind of a jerk when he was younger because he didn't really understand the pecking order and that we were the dominant herd people. So he would just constantly try and fight us. Not aggressively, he literally just was like trying to play with us and didn't understand that we didn't want to play because we weren't goats, so I'm not going to get on all fours and headbutt your head. It's not fun. So he's gotten better over the years, but he definitely was the problem child when we first got him. We had to resituate. We good? We cool? Thank you. Oh, that was sweet. He's very loving, even if he doesn't understand communication skills or that cameras aren't food. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps up Neville. He's a very simple creature. We like him. He definitely is the personality of the herd. He's the one who acts the most goatish out of all 4 of our goats. I feel like all 4 of our goats have very strong personalities, and he is the most stereotypical goat. Like, he chews on everything, he gets into everything, and he just like is rambunctious and goaty. He yells the most. So that's Neville in a nutshell. The special child of the herd who just doesn't understand things and is chewing on my camera strap. So on that note, I am going to go inside now because he's starting to chew on literally everything. Yeah. So, like I've been saying, if you guys have a preference for who I do tomorrow, I'm trying to stagger the animals back and forth between goats and other animals. So I'm thinking of doing either Hercules or Willow, my mini horse or my cat. So if you guys have a preference, let me know down in the comments. And okay, we're headbutting the camera now. This is fun. I'm gonna go. Okay, bye. Actually, I think I made a decision. Neville is still here, by the way. Here's his nose. It's actually beautiful outside right now. Like, it's breezy and it's not very hot. I think I might actually try and knock out the read a book in one sitting challenge because I'm in the mood for a graphic novel right now. Like, I want to read, but I don't know what I'm in the mood to read. So I kind of am just like on the kick of feeling productive. So I think it's actually really nice. And I think I'm going to go grab, thank you for interrupting, my aerial yoga silk, hook it up in a tree. And I think I'm going to go grab a graphic novel and read it out here, because I'm really in the mood for a graphic novel. So I think I'm gonna go do that. Okay, so I just read all the way through this. This is No Ivy League by Hazel Newlevant. This is actually an arc of a graphic novel that is coming out in August, and it was kind of cool to see this because it is an unfinished arc, so some pages are done and some are not. Thoughts on this? I was confused. Okay, so this basically follows a girl who's homeschooled and privileged, and she ends up going and working with like a community service group to remove ivy from a forest. And it's basically her first exposure to diversity and different classes of society. So it's a very like eye-opening experience for this girl because she's never experienced like basically different races and different levels of poverty or wealth or just privilege in general. And I don't think it was handled very well. I believe this is a true story. Like the author's note at the beginning says that it was like her real life experience, that she basically was writing her own experience of exposure to diversity, I guess, and how it was a pivotal point of her life. So I feel weird judging somebody's personal experience, but I don't think that this did it very well. It's a weird mixture of a very naive juvenile girl who is exposed to very mature things, I guess. Like, I feel like this reads as both like a good example for like middle grade when it comes to like meeting different types of people in life, but it also is very crass with the language and with the things that she experiences. So I don't really think this got the point across very well. I feel like a lot of the representation in this was very over stereotyped or not great. Like, I don't think that it actually like hit the mark as far as like good exposure to diversity. Like, it didn't represent the different races well, in my opinion. Like, is that true to her experience? That's possible, but I don't think that this actually had a great message, to be honest. Like, it basically was just her really struggling with not understanding and not fitting in with people who have it worse off than she is. And she doesn't really learn too much. I mean, like, it's a whole, like, character growth arc of, like, her, like, being exposed to things and not feeling comfortable, which is a valid feeling when you come from privilege and you're exposed to other types of life. And it just rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like I've gone through experiences similar to this, but I was exposed to it from the beginning. So I don't really think this handled it well. And like I said, it feels like a weird mixture of like a middle grade book where this is like her first experience learning about the world. But again, it was also very adult content in it. So I'm curious to see if things are adjusted for the final copy, because there is one little section of her going to the library and basically checking out books, and all of this text at the top of it says in the final book it will include a quoted text from the Hidden History of Portland, Oregon on the topic of the state's founding as a white-only community. Final book will include a quote of why are all the black kids sitting together in the cafeteria and other conversations about race. So it's going to include, I think, more important text in it, but as of right now I think it just kind of missed the mark and I'm confused. Like, I think this could be a very good pivotal story if it were more focused and less all over the place with literally everything, because I feel like there was a lot of, like, questionable things that happened in this that they just never addressed again. Like, and I know that's kind of what growing up is like and learning about other people, and I know that's what it's like, but, like, this one was just kind of weird, and it didn't really conclude any of the issues very well. So I'm gonna give this, like, maybe 2 stars, just because I feel like it is an important conversation starter, but it did not finish the conversation. So moral of the story, I read this. This is going to be my read in one location the entire time, because I sat here and read it the entire time, hanging from my tree like a little cocoon. So on that note, I'm gonna head in, and I think I'm going to watch The Road, and then edit this vlog, and hopefully go to bed at a reasonable time. Alright, well, on that super depressing note, I have completed the movie of The Road. it was just as bleak as the book was. The movie was also beautifully done, like, everything about how it was, like, shot and how there was no color and everything was just bleak and depressing was fitting to the tone of the story. But after reading this entire book and watching that entire movie, I'm ready for some kitten snuggles, some milkshakes, some rainbows, and maybe some puppies. It's been a rough day. I mean, I was hoping that, like, a cute graphic novel would cheer me up, but clearly this one was not the one to do that. So I think I'm gonna pick up mooncakes tonight, maybe? Or maybe I'll just go back to the Babysitter's Coven, because I am still working on that, and that seems pretty lighthearted, but I'm in a headspace right now. Let me tell you, that was depressing. And I know it's supposed to be somewhat optimistic towards the end, but, I'm not there. I am still on the glass is half empty stage of my experience with the road. Since having finished the book and it sat with me for a while, I'm gonna, like, exclude the movie from this because the movie was good. The movie followed the book very, very closely. They changed a couple things, but, like, it wasn't anything significant. So, since I have finished the book and it's been a couple hours and I've kind of processed things more, it's beautifully done. As far as classics go, it shows kind of the scope of mankind and how you can still, like, persevere even in, like, the bleakest of times, and that there's still, like, the keep the fire going thing. Like, do you carry the fire? If you've read The Road, you know what I'm talking about. So there's still, like, always hope, no matter how bleak the situation is. That's kind of, I think, what the message is supposed to be, that, like, mankind will always persevere through everything, even, like, the darkest of dark times. But man, I'm real sad. So this is a somewhat depressing vlog. I'm glad that, like, Neville was in the middle of it to, like, lighten things up. But that's where I'm sitting for day 3. So I've technically finished 2 challenges, the read in one location challenge and the book to movie adaptation. So those were 2, like, more challenging like, those were more time-consuming challenges, I guess I should say. So those are nice to check off of the list. Tomorrow hopefully will be a much happier experience. I hope you guys are still liking these vlogs. Tomorrow, let me know if you want to see the mini horse or the cat. Those are my options. It also is going to be weather dependent. If it ever is, like, raining or something, I won't film outside and I'll film inside. But let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys are still enjoying this, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog.